And yeah, I think like that was a very first production that I made that I said, you know what, it all came together. This is exactly what I was trying to do. I was trying to make, I was trying to keep it as genuine as possible, but somehow make it sound bigger for bigger stages. I wanted to progress the sound to make it,
Yeah.
so that DJs have a song as well to play out that will give them a moment in their DJ sets.
Yeah, I think it's I mean I called it, it's definitely for me a top three production for this year. Not only because of what it's done, but I think just sonically it really challenged the norm and what was happening in our space. Because I mean, this is a big conversation that's happening at the moment around the sounding samey and boring, for lack of a better term. But I
Right.
think with your types of production that are coming in now, that's really kind of opened the ears of a lot of people. So yeah, man, kudos to you. But I wanted to ask as well, bro, because when I found Afro House, it was through Prince KB. I'm not sure if you know. I'm sure you know Prince KB. It was Prince
Of
KB
course.
was son of musician. Um, Shimza, DJ Ganiani. These were the first guys that when I found Afro House, I was listening to. Were there specific artists for yourself?
Um, yeah, man, I think how it came about for me is that I was really into when I started doing these eclectic, you know, mixes of like just music from all over the world that people probably didn't know. What really caught my attention first was, I mean, they call it Afro House, but it's from like the Afro House from like Angola and
Okay.
stuff like that. And, there's a lot more claps and it was a lot more like just the bounce and the rhythm of it was just like amazing. And anytime I would play it, it would just like the crowd would just react to it. Um, and then obviously through like digging in more music, I found more of the South African side of it. And
Yeah.
yeah, like Body Satwa obviously is like one of the OGs, and then fell into the early Shimza and man, there's so many. There's like, always funny because I was like, yo, anytime I get asked a question where like, oh, what were the first artists? I'm like, yo, I'm gonna say these guys because I finally remember these are the first songs, and I always forget,
You
bro.
always
It's like
forget.
it's so long ago, but yeah,
No, no,
man, I
absolutely.
kind of just went from here to there. Then obviously found out about all these other artists, but yeah, it just came from just DJing music, from trying to find music from all over the world that people probably didn't know. That was my passion, was just trying to put people on. I felt that that was my reason for DJing, is to play music, to kind of educate people like, yo, you don't have to know the music, you don't have to know the song in order to dance to it, to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I found a lot of music from all over the world and then fell into this world of Afro house and the different versions of it. And then yeah.
Yeah. And how do you feel now about how you kind of connected the sound and found Afro House, but also focusing more on your own project? You know, just mentally, how are you feeling about everything coming together right now in this moment? How does it feel?
It feels good, man. I feel like it's been a long time coming. Like I said, when I first had the thought of, moving into this world as Ape Drums, rebranding, my first thing was, what can I add to what's already out there? I don't want to be one of these DJs that just goes to whatever's trendy and then once it's not or it dies down, go to the next thing, I'm always like, I think I'm very passionate about music and I respect, how it's grown, where it comes from. And I don't want to be this guy that just takes from it and then leaves. So my first intention was always like, okay, well, what can I add to this world that's not already out there? And that's where Light That came about. It was always like, like you said, to me, especially for the DJ sets that I'm used to, I like energy, I like up tempo, I like moments. So a lot of these DJ sets that I was listening to, I was like, man, it's missing something. So my intention with this remix was like, I need to give DJs something they could play that they would be excited to play, and it would give them a moment and at least a hands up moment, a crowd cheer, something. It needed something. It was missing all that. So yeah, I think Like That made that happen, man. And I think, we've all seen the change and we've all seen the hype around the world, and it's great. I'm excited to just keep it going. I'm riding this momentum right now, so it's good.
And how does it feel though? How does it feel to have a specific sound, a sound that is particular, that it's still, would you call it Afrotech? For me, it's definitely a bit more Afrotech than Afro house.
Hmm.
But it's still kind of a worldly Afrotech where you can play in all spaces around the world, right? I think some Afrotech um, is quite local to some African countries, but I think your sound is quite worldly, which is great. But how does it feel to get so much support from DJs on again your first Afro house Afrotech production?
I mean, it's crazy, but at the same time, it's funny because like when I made like that remix, I had that in mind. It's like, okay, um, I know, most like these top South African DJs, it's like a thing when they DJ, they do the knob twist and blah blah blah. Like, so I understood that what they would prefer when they're playing a record, right? They need something to play with. They need like it's basically the mixture in the isolators are like an instrument now, right? So I was like these DJs, they want to perform something. They need something to play with on the isolator. So when I made like that, I kept that in mind. And it's funny. I guess it was kind of like manifesting it, you know? So I
Wow.
was like, yo, right before the drop, it needs like a dun 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 dun. It needs something,
And he's
and
something.
it happened. It's crazy. It's like I had this idea. I thought I played it over and over in my head, and now to actually watch it live all over the world is crazy. So
It's mad, bro. It's mad.
yeah, man. I mean, I think um, I think also, yeah, like you said, I think I've always wanted to do. I'll always lean more into Afro tech, like the structure of it, the sound of it. I loved it. I love that it was mostly, dark. I love where the drums would hit here and there. I love the groove of it, everything about it. So I think my sound, I wanted it to be lean more towards that, but also make it sound bigger. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe eventually it'll come make its own, it'll be its own genre or something. We'll see what it grows into. But yeah, man, I think I was studying a lot. You know how I was studying a lot too when I first started getting into this world. It was Inu Napa because I loved how different he was. I loved how like it's almost like scientific. His productions, they're very experimental, but they just hit so well and they're so clean. The ideas are so crazy. So I was very inspired by him, and I wanted to just try to keep. I wanted to blend in a couple different worlds. So yeah.
Yeah. I always tell people, Napa makes soulful Afro tech, right? It's like this. It's just so sexy, right? And as you say, it really hits, and it's dark, but still, it's got that nice kind of touch to it. But yeah, you can't quite put your finger in it when it comes to Napa, but he just has that, right?
I think the thing about him is that he doesn't really I think he makes music more for him to perform as opposed to music to listen to. I think he what he does well is make music for him to perform well to. And that's what I kept in mind for like that. I was like, okay, they need something to play with. He makes music that he knows when he's playing it live, he can do this and pull up the mid and he'll take the low out at this end and so I learned that and I realized that. And
Mm,
I'm very aware of what goes on in music. I've been aware, as a young kid, I would listen to things and I knew what the producer was doing. So I knew that I had to go give them something to play with if I wanted to get the support.